Welcome to Words of Wisdom with Wendy. And today we have the lovely Dr. Marcia. And it's so exciting to actually have a doctor that approaches health and wellness in a holistic sort of a way. So, you've had both sides really, as a doctor and then as the holistic approach to health and well-being. So thank you for coming on here today. And I'd love you to introduce yourself. And what do you actually do? So it's so exciting just been talking to you about what you do.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you so much, Wendy, for this opportunity to having this conversation. I'm really grateful. And so I'm Dr. Marcia Becherel. I'm a medical doctor. I'm an integrative well-being specialist and creator of NEI, which stands for Neuro Emotional Integration method.
Wow,
and
that's a whole big list, isn't it? It's great.
So just a little bit about me. So I'm sort of an unconventional kind of person, and I'm drawn to live outside the box.
Oh,
and
wonderful.
I believe that many of you are probably also put yourself in that you love to be daring and disruptive and living outside the box, being authentic, because we are all unique. So there's no box to box anyone in, because we are all unique in our own way.
Absolutely.
And so I was born in Taiwan. Mm-hmm. When I was 10 years old, my parents moved to Brazil. So literally on the other side of the planet. And so that was a big move. For 10 years old, I didn't speak the language. I didn't know. Suddenly, 24 hours later, I'm in a different country, different culture, couldn't speak the language, couldn't understand people. So in Brazil, I studied medicine, so I became a medical doctor. However, even early days in medical school, I already started grew frustrated with the conventional Western medical system, because even though it saves lives, it's necessary. However, it is incomplete. And when I say incomplete, is because and as going through medical school as a medical student, we are taught to look at our patients only at the physical level.
Yeah. And there's more to it than that.
Exactly. So completely ignoring that we also have our mind, our mindset, our emotions, and spirituality, which is spirituality is the truth of who we are. As I mentioned, we are unique, and it's about who we are and looking at the whole picture. So I find that just most times I was prescribing medications, and to a lot of people, they will have to take that for the rest of their life. And I just felt that I was actually disempowering my patients to be depending on a medication for the rest of their lives, feeling powerless, rather than, and just as a band-aids, rather than really addressing an underlying root cause. Wow. And that today I know, in my journey, I know that it's possible. I love a quote by one of my mentors, Dr. John DeMartini. He says that incurable is curable from within.
I love it. That's a beautiful statement.
So, and that's what I have searched for my whole life, to find that, to help people take their power back, reclaim their personal power, take the responsibility, because with power and responsibility, they go hand by hand. Like one and the other, they go together, and take responsibility and help and find a way to heal themselves, to really create the life they love to live. So that's why I have set out on this quest, and that took me, just very briefly, took me to US, where I actually I did a PhD in molecular and cellular biology, because I wanted to understand more how our body works. Then when I went back to Brazil, I decided to I did a residency in pediatrics and study homeopathy, because even though I love the medical research, worked on that for 10 years, but I really love people. I really love working with people.
Yes. I understand that one.
Yeah. And so I went back to clinical medicine. I did a residency in pediatrics and also studied homeopathy. Because in Brazil, homeopathy is a specialization in medicine. It's not just a course, a diploma that you do. It's actually a specialization in medicine. So I studied children's health and homeopathy, and my plan was to open a clinic and work with children, and mostly using homeopathics because it works really well with children. However, life had another plan for me. And so my 10-year marriage then came to an end, and I decided to, I saw the blessing in that, was grateful for the experience. And then I decided to pack my bags and leave Brazil, as travel has been part of my journey. And I end up in France, where I met my now husband, Olivier, which we've been now married for 21 years. So beautiful. That was a great blessing. And then in 2002, we moved to Australia, which allowed me really to deepen my research. And if we, fast track, I became a naturopath, because I thought, well, let me, I thought that's a bit more a holistic approach to looking at health and well-being. And then in this journey, I also start studying more, studying personal development. I did, I'm an NLP master practitioner. 2009, I met Dr. John DiMartini. That's really make a huge difference in my life, because it's with his wealth of knowledge, and the knowledge is there based on universal principles in wisdom of the ages, right? And then that is the foundation actually of everything I do today of my life. So really, it's like coming home, everything made sense. And also at the same time, I also train in many other modalities, which uses that address the body, the mind. And then since 2010, I've been, actually 2009, both my husband and I, we created our business. I was a coaching business, Mastery to Success. And since then, I've been working with individuals, especially professional women, to help them to reclaim their personal power by and fulfill their life purpose by teaching them how to master their emotions, and also facilitating them breaking through their emotional roadblocks, so that they can really unwrap the gift of their life, because as well, we are all unique and we have a unique gift to offer. So we can unwrap that gift and then own it, so that we can create and live a inspiring, authentic and fulfilling life, meaningful life. At the same time, making a great contribution, because that's what we are here to as well. It's exactly. Yeah, it's making that impact. And I'm sure you and the audience. We do what we do because we want to make a big contribution. Absolutely. We know that we have a great contribution. So that's kind of summarizes. And so in this journey, I'm blessed to be able to experience all the different modalities, the ones that work with the mind and ones that work with the body, and then combine them to now bring a truly complete system, which is a true integration of mind and body.
Yeah, you've had an amazing journey.
Yeah, and I'm sure you do too. We all
absolutely. I think we go on this journey just to. Well, I've been on, very similar to you, just a search for answers of you know, and it just keeps us going and keeps us studying and studying. And yeah, so it's really quite amazing. And then we've come to this point right now, you know, of, you know, what is actually going on. And it's not just the outside, it's certainly all the inside, you know? Yeah. And yes, it's amazing to come, and it's great. I've never talked to somebody that's been a doctor and gone his whole journey. So it's wonderful to have you here today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Wendy.
So now you're doing NEI. Now, explain what that is. So it's kind of put it all together.
Okay. Okay. So before I like just mention a couple of the principles. So as I mentioned, I love working with professional women, specifically to help them break through their emotional baggage, emotional roadblocks. But one thing I would like to say is that our emotions, they are not there. It's not something bad. It's actually within every emotional event, or actually within every event in our life, there's a gift. There's
absolutely, and that is beautiful to say, because it is. Even going through separation, you look back and you're thinking, wow, what a gift, and how much I've grown. So each time we've gone through different paths, we grow so much. It's actually recognizing, wow, that is growth. Yeah. Rather than looking at it and living in it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I love using the example yin and yang, which is here. I love not just because I'm Chinese, but I really love the yin and yang.
Yes.
And because whenever we have a negative emotion, like a negative memory or stress, is because we are perceiving more of the black, which we call the negative, the downside, the pain, right? However, in the darkest moment, there's still I call this a pearl of wisdom.
I love it. That is just beautiful way of saying it.
So no matter how painful, challenging, dark moment we go through in our life, there's light. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's a pearl of wisdom waiting to be unraveled. And
that is
when
beautiful.
we can see that, we can see that there are no mistakes. That the moment that we went through that experience, because there's a gift, and the gift is relevant to who we are actually. So another thing is, life is always guiding us back to who we are, and very often we go off tangent, and life will bring us back.
Yes. And
for being who we are in our journey, we need some knowledge, skills, some tools, different, or even some qualities that so every experience in our life is guiding us to gather that, to practice that, to develop, to cultivate that. And that's why, so like every sign and symptom from our body, what we call the medicine called disease, and any negative emotions, negative thinking, or even what we call the sociology of friends, the outside. So all these, or even like tragic events in our life, all these are feedback. Everything is a feedback to us. And so what I love, one of the things is, it's about decoding what the message is, because that's the gift.
Yeah. I like that word. When I was reading on your website, decoding, and I'm thinking, that is a beautiful word. That's exactly what it is. It's decoding what the body is telling you, and outside events is
And NEI is a beautiful way of helping us to decode it, because it actually, because with NEI we are tapping into the intelligence of our body. So I use a biofeedback process, which is also known as the muscle testing, a biofeedback and we are tapping into the body's intelligence, and that sharpens our intuition, the connection with our intuition. And so, because when we are doing process just in our mind, and sometimes because we know that, very often what's happening today, we have a trigger deeper earlier in our life, but sometimes, but it's really hard to make the connection, right? When we try to think, but when we are tapping, communicating with the body through the biofeedback, the body will just, our intuition will just take us there, and then something will just pop in our mind, like a memory, a word, or a feeling, just something, and they'll guide us through there. And if we just don't judge it, because it doesn't have to make sense, we just follow that breadcrumb trail, we always get to the source of it. So that's what it, and that's why I love the NEI, because it uses the body. So through the body, we can localize very specifically from a current day issue. For example, a physical issue like a pain, migraine. A physical issue can be emotional issue, stress, relationship breakup, or professionally, some kind of roadblock professionally. Money is a big thing, because we are in business, and often people have blocks in the money mindset. And so we take a current day issue and we trace it back to the root cause.
Yeah.
Really deep root cause, which is typically early childhood. However, because we're tapping into the intelligence of the body, we can then trace to the very first root cause, which is typically before birth. It's either around birth or before birth, and we can identify very specifically where that blockage is imprinted in our body, because every emotional event is not just stored in our mind, because it's not just the story that we have in our mind, but it's also imprinted in our body as an energetic blockage.
Totally.
And that is where all the cognitive process, like psychology or counseling, have their place. Just like medicine, they all serve, they all have a great contribution. However, the cognitive processings cannot tap into the ones, the real root causes, which is imprinted in the body. And that's why, so we have what we call the explicit event, where we have a story, we have the narrative, and then we have the implicit event, which we don't have a conscious awareness of it, because it's imprinted in our body, and that can only be accessed through the body. And so by then being able to go to the very root cause and integrating that process, because all comes to, again, yin and yang, everything has two sides.
Yes.
So anything that we have a negative emotion about is because in our perception we can only see one side. We are conscious one side and unconscious of the other side. So dissolving emotions, integrating, is actually being able to integrate both sides, seeing the whole. The yin and yang is the whole. So seeing the whole, and that's create the integration process. That then we appreciate, we actually get the gift, we see the pearl of wisdom of that event, and typically before birth or sometime at birth. Sometimes could be up to 3 years old, because before we have a conscious awareness, but very cheap, most times it's either still in the womb or during the birthing process, because the birthing process is a traumatic process, and it's all in our perception, how the baby perceive it. I actually have some really interesting stories about that. But anyway, when we integrate at the source, at the root cause, it will have a ripple effect all through our life, through our future, because today, and integrating all the other events, because today we have the issue that we have today, and we then tend to make decisions that are bound by that, meaning that we try to avoid pain, so we try to avoid repeating some experience because of the pain, and impulse towards pleasure, right? And so when we integrate the root cause, it has a ripple effect through our until today, but also into our future, because now we are truly free to make the decisions.
Like globe moments.
Yeah,
That's when they happen.
Not run by our emotions.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so that's so what that NEI is, and why I feel the NEI is really a complete system, because it's truly integrated mind and body. Because before NEI, I have worked with some processes that work with the body and can identify and clear the emotional blockage in the body, which is very powerful. Like the client, the person will feel a shift. So we still have a result. We're still dissolving that emotional blockage, right? But what happened is they feel a change, and that will also have a ripple effect into their future. However, they are missing the pearl of wisdom by not going and doing the inquiry and doing the conscious integration.
Yeah.
So once we clear the emotional charge, where now then that's the time to ask questions to find what was the gift in that moment. What is the gift to get that pearl? Because this is really what doing personal work or emotional work is about. It's about getting that pearl of wisdom, that insight, because this is what we take with us that we need for the next step, next levels. So I want to make this clear, because it's not about, yes, it's about feeling, clearing emotion, clearing the stress, feeling better. But however, it's about getting that insight, that pearl wisdom, because that's what we take with us, and that's what is going to serve for our purpose, our journey. Next time that we have some challenges, because life is always, we're going to have challenges, so we can learn and grow from it and move to the next level. So it's really about that, and that's that's why we're here. To first to really uncover who we are, being authentic, and be ourselves, because we are the gift.
Beautifully said. Absolutely beautifully said. It's you can tap into bits and pieces of it, but when you actually hear the whole lot all the way through the whole journey, that was just beautiful. I
have if you have time, I have a very quick, I do love that story. I have so many different stories, and but one that really shows that our life is showing us who we are. So I had a client who was premature baby. So we went to the root cause, and he was premature, born 7 weeks early, and he was in the incubator for 3 weeks. And so he has some issue about, I'm not wanted, I'm not cared for. He felt disconnect from his parents. And so when we clear the emotional blockage, and we clear the emotion, and then I asked him, okay, why did you have to go through that experience? Why was that experience important to you? And then
that's a good question. Yes.
Yeah,
it is a good question.
Because we go through experiences because somehow we needed that experience as a gift from life. And so when I asked him, why was that experience important to, being born premature and have to be 3 weeks in the incubator, where he felt that he was just, isolated from his parents, disconnected. So when we cleared, the first thing he says is he didn't feel the disconnection anymore. He actually saw his parents, he could feel his parents' love, and he saw like his parents looking at him, so he could, the connection is there, it's just different, the connection is there. But what, you know, gave me goosebumps and brought tears to my eyes was when he said that why he had to go through that experience, because it was teaching him, he was learning, or he was teaching himself how to heal himself.
Wow, amazing.
And how to love himself. The little newborn baby, premature, in the incubator by his own, he was learning how to love himself and how to heal himself. And guess what? He's a healer. He has amazing healing. He's a healer. So since birth, life was already showing him who he is.
Yeah.
It is already giving him opportunity to practice that. And a bit later on in life, when he was in his 17, 18, he was driving, was in a car accident. And he actually had to learn to speak, read, walk. And so he, again, was another opportunity for him to heal himself. Today, he's great. He's, you know, he has no disability. He's a normal, you know, perfect person. But so life is always showing us, giving us experiences to show us, guide us back to who we are.
Yeah, love it. Lovely story. It's beautiful. Yeah.
And every time I take someone through the NEI, ultimately it's come back to us. It's come back to being who we are, giving ourselves permission to be who we are, and discovering the greatness of that is already inside.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Are you finding at the moment that people are more waking up right now with the energy that's going on? Yes. I mean, very much, very, very much. I mean, even before the virus and before this situation. I mean, I think, you know, we are globally, we are in, you know, many people becoming more aware. So that's already, and that's where, and also we know that what we are aware, what we put our intention and our focus on, that's where we manifest. Yes.
So it's the same thing. It's about seeing the cup half full or half empty. And so through this situation, even though you know, some people get into the fear, but some other people, they see as opportunity and opportunity to grow.
Yeah. And this is an opportunity to grow. You know, that we might be thinking this is really tough and losing our jobs, but actually it is just a wonderful opportunity to grow.
When we give ourselves permission to ask the question and to go find that pearl of wisdom, in no matter what situation, no matter what challenge, in the darkest moment, the pearl of wisdom is always there. And the darker the moment, the bigger, in a way, the more significant is the gift that's going to come out of that.
Beautiful.
And
so that's wonderful news. You know, I love that, the pearl of wisdom. I think that's just,
I love it. And I remember, so our body's physiology, you know, our body's physiology, our psychology, all, you know, things that happen in our life, the conflicts, things that we have in life, it's always just a feedback. And and I love the NEI because we can use any whatever current issue could be a physical symptom. So if you don't mind, I'd like to share a few of like the physical symptoms. Like I've worked with clients that had 20 years of debilitating migraine. For 20 years, she gets a migraine and she might be 1 week off work. And she actually was trying to solve she actually restricted her eating to 7 items to see if that will help. And it did help partially. For 2 years, she only ate 7 things. Like to avoid any food that was triggering. And when we work through that, now she can eat everything, and the migraines are
That's how powerful this work is.
Yeah.
I know I've had clients the same, and it's just, oh wow, it's just beautiful, isn't it? It just gives you that, oh my gosh, what they've gone through and to get to now. It's just beautiful to watch clients, you know.
And pain, chronic pain, sleep. Lately, actually, I have 2 clients that happen to have young babies, and they were having sleeping issues. And so from waking up every 1-2 hours, after a week, so now the baby's sleeping from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's and also I help a lady, a 70-year-old lady client that also has sleeping issues, and now she's sleeping through stress and also business, because I imagine a lot of we are professional women or business women. So one of the things that I love is, when we clear the emotional charges, and one of the biggest roadblocks for business and financial success is actually guilt and shame.
Yes.
And so with one client, one session, we went back to, she was 6 months in the womb, and we cleared this huge guilt that she had. And she got some insights. And then about 8 weeks later, she said, Marcia, something happens in the last 8 weeks. She's a business woman, and she has no quite thriving business, but she said the last 8 weeks, she generated extra $48,000 of new clients, and half of that paid in full, which she said never happened in the 12 years that she's been in business. So that's how powerful it is. We don't, expect. Have another client that was been 2 years in the business and just told me that in May he has the best year, best months in his business so far. So and so it's, it can apply in so many things. That's why I find it's really hard to just narrow down to something. However, my the people, my clients that I love working is mostly women. I do have some male clients, but mostly women, and women that are professional. Either they are in a career, in a job, or have their own business, and that they are, they are living or want to live on their purpose and make a significant contribution, because we all have that.
Oh, we do, absolutely. That sounds just amazing. It's I actually haven't spoken to anybody that kind of thinks like how I think. And you've just said it. I could never really put it into words, but the way you've said it was just beautiful. It was just put into words of, that is how we live. That is our life. That is, but that pearl of wisdom was just a beautiful analogy. Yeah, it was wonderful. So, you're doing a great job. I think that is amazing, because, and to really help all those business women and everything, because it takes them to a whole new level. But trying to explain it to some people is so hard. So how do you get your clients, and to really explain all this, what you do and how it could help them?
That's a great question. As you can see, I'm a people's person. I love connecting. One of the easiest things, let's say a gift I have, is talking to strangers. I could meet a stranger in the market, on the top of, in the bush, when we're bushwalking, and suddenly, I'm talking to them and talking about this. So basically, mostly the how I find clients, just meet people and talk with them. Either and as I said, could be going to networking, different workshops or seminar that I go, and meeting people on the airplane. I have a couple clients that I was flying to Sydney, sitting next to them, and so it's basically talking with people. Even though I know that I would love to be able to leverage a bit more, because I would love to more people to experience this work.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm really grateful for this opportunity to being able to share my message with a bigger audience. And that's what I've been doing. So, and I want to say, and then another way is referrals. So I love a lot of referrals. And I have a client, very often they refer, and then after the first, so a client actually referred his sister, and then after the first session, she referred her best friend who already have a session. So, and that's what I love, because that also means that those are in a way, my dream, my ideal clients, people that appreciate this work, because what you say, it's true. It's what we do, I imagine this is very unique. It's not conventional, so not many people.
No, it's not. No,
there's no way to put a label into it. So that has been one of my challenges, actually, how to articulate and that's why the easiest way is, when I meet someone, talk with them, or the referrals. And now I'm learning to better articulate and so to be able to put on my website, and also being able to talk about
well,
it.
I've learned so much just from listening to you, like how to put it into words is and you've helped me a lot.
And I love working with women. Now, one thing I think we all women have in common, we tend to put other people first.
Yes.
And I think that's one. So even career women, like high achiever career women, but they are still, we still, because it's natural for women. We are nurturing. We nurture. And so very often, one of the things, it's about helping them to remember to put themselves first. Like we put our oxygen mask first in us before we reach out to other people. And it's about taking care of ourselves so we can give our best to our loved ones and to our work. And
well, that has been absolutely wonderful talking to you today. And I've learnt so much in the words, and I'm sure my people out there will certainly love what you're doing. So tell us, where do you work from?
This is where I work from.
From Brisbane?
I'm in Brisbane, yes. So I'm in Brisbane. I'm on the south side of Brisbane, and near Garden City shopping center.
And what's your business? What's the name of your business?
Okay, so I actually have two websites. So one is my name, drmarciabecherel.com. So that's, however, I'm also in business with my husband, because we complement each other very well. So we have the coaching business where he do the mindset, the strategy. He's brilliant in connecting the dots. And all come together I do the emotional side of those things, because it's just all make a really nice package, like it'll come together. So we both, basically what we do is we help people, our clients, to build a identity-based career or business. So it's basically about understanding themselves, really themselves, what their uniqueness, what is their natural flow, what's their natural strategy, and then I come in with helping them with the working on the emotions, because our emotions block our vision and get us stuck. So we need these are the different components. It's about knowing who we are, identify our identity, owning our unique gifts, talents, like to give us an unshakable confidence, and then clear the roadblocks, and then creating that comparing future, and also our own authentic strategy. So it's all about being ourselves. It's being authentic, and then create our business or it could be a career, because we not necessarily everyone is a business owner, because otherwise who is going to work in the business, right?
Exactly.
So it's all about who we are, and creating either a career or a business around who we are. So instead of fitting in a box. So and so our business is called Mastery to Success.
Because I couldn't find, where the title was. So that's what it is. So beautiful.
Yeah, mastery, because it's about mastery. So mastery is about mastery of life. It's about knowledge, wisdom, and application, because without application, nothing happens, right? So it's mastery, and it's TO, success, because success is something that we strive for. However, in a way, we never really fully achieve, because they're always going to be the next step. Because another quote that I love is, while we are green, we are growing, but when we are ripe, we rot, right? So that's
exactly, I love it. Beautiful.
So keep green. And that's why we say, don't focus on the destination, but enjoy the journey, because the journey is what we are here for. We are here to learn, to grow, to experience, to connect, and connect with what's the most valuable, important, and meaningful to us. So so our business together called Mastery to success.com.au.
Good.
And then I happen to have mine, which is just the emotional side. So it's drmarciabecherel.com.
Beautiful. So thank you so much for being on here today.
Well, thank you. I really loved the opportunity. I must confess, speaking, it's becoming more natural. But one of my challenges is, it's interesting. I can speak to stranger. I can meet stranger and start a conversation. But I think when I'm speak to a big audience, so it's great to be able, have the opportunity to practice and to master.
Oh, well done. You've done really, really well.
Thank you.
So thank you for today. That's beautiful.